She's sitting and studying when a girl comes in and messes up her notebook, so she asks what she's doing. At that, the girl's mother asks what she is doing, and the girl then says that it is not a place to study. The mother tells me that she cannot do that and that this is not how she taught her, and asks if she is staying crazy and then hands her backpack. The rude girl yells that she doesn't want that backpack because it's not branded and throws it on the floor. The mother then says she is ashamed of her daughter, so she goes to talk to the girl who was studying there and that her humiliated by dirtying her notebook. Then she asks affectionately if the girl is okay. Then the sad girl says that it was her only notebook and how she was going to study now. The woman says that she understands and that she will solve everything. Then she explains that her father works nearby washing cars and as she can't afford it, she doesn't even have money to go to school. Meanwhile, her naughty daughter tells her mother to leave that girl she wanted to go to the mall soon and who forgets about it and turns her back on her mother. Then the mother says that she doesn't know what world the girl lives in, and threw the backpack on the floor just because it doesn't have a mark. She asks the girl if she wants that backpack. The girl then happily says yes. The woman hands her the backpack saying that her daughter doesn't value what she has. The girl enters and says that she can have that garbage, while the woman talks to the girl asking about her mother. Then the girl says that her mother has passed away. Then the woman asks her not to be sad about her notebook, that she will give her some money to buy another one and that is all she has and that would be the money to spend at the mall with her daughter. So she gives all the money to the girl saying that she could keep everything and to tell her to buy her notebooks, which wasn't much, but it would already help her. The girl then thanks him and says that all that would be very good for her. The woman confirms and the girl continues and says that her biggest dream is to study and be a doctor. At that moment the woman's daughter turns around and says, "That's right, but you'll never be able to be a doctor." The mother tells her to shut up and that if she continued, they would have problems when they got home. So she asks the girl not to worry about what her daughter says, and that she would be able to be a doctor, and that she would really like to be able to help her, but she has no condition. So she has the idea of making a store with the girl, and will tag her by telling her story and that for sure someone will see it and will be able to really help her and she will be able to fulfill her dream. So she starts recording saying who she is and that that girl is not able to study and that she lives on the street with her father and that he is a car washer and that the intention of the video is to touch the heart of someone who has conditioned to help her fulfill her dream, which is to study and be a doctor. So she gives the address where the girl stays with her father and hopes that someone can see and help her. Then she posts it in her stores and hopes it works. So she says goodbye to the girl and says that every time she passes by she will see her and that he should never give up on her dreams. She kisses the girl and wishes her good luck. She gives the girl a bottle of water, takes his daughter by the arm and leaves. While the girl is in awe of the bag she won, saying that she has never had such a beautiful bag, her father approaches. He arrives saying that he couldn't even wash a car and that it's not working. So she says it's working very well and says that a girl went there and gave her a bag. So he takes it and says the bag is very beautiful and the girl then says that the best is inside the bag. So her father opens it to see what's inside and is surprised to see the money and asks what money it is. The girl explains herself by saying that the woman's daughter spoiled her notebook and even humiliated her and her mother was very angry and then she gave me the money to buy notebooks and food, because she felt sorry for her. The father then tries to understand what is happening. He gave you this money for what the daughter did is. The girl confirms that he did and that he even gave her that beautiful bag. The happy father thinks it's good and says he's hungry and then they could go get something to eat at that moment and asks what she thinks. The girl then asks him to eat a curel, as he always wanted to eat, but he never had the money to buy it. The father agrees that yes and that they will eat together and that later he will buy the notebook so that she can study better. So they get up and he helps her with her notebook, taking out the dirty sheet and they go to buy the curel. Meanwhile, a businessman is currently looking at the woman's stores and is moved by the girl's story. Because it reminds him of her past and that he had gone through something similar. While father and daughter are eating the long-awaited cure, he says he didn't know it was so delicious. She says it's very good and they say that must be why it's so expensive. They are there eating and talking and suddenly a man arrives and apologizes for being in the way and asks if she is Isadora. She confirms yes, and then asks how he knows her. The father soon asks if she has a problem, but he says no and that he actually saw the publication of a girl telling her story. And that caught your attention because their story is similar to his and that in her childhood it was very difficult and so she has a lot of desire. That she studies on the street and so I would like to do something for you. Then she exclaims in amazement that he wants to help them and asks how her story is similar to hers and that she lives on the street. So he says that it is not because he is well dressed today that he had a good life and that when he was a child he lived on the street and that is why his story is similar to theirs. So when I saw the publication, he had a great desire to help them, and that he has a little house and would like them to live there and that she could study. And that he was willing to pay for all her studies, all the books, anyway. Pay everything even until she finishes her college and graduates. Then the father gets up and asks why he wants to help them like that, and asks if he isn't a child abuser. The businessman says he understands his concern that he is also a father and that he is right to be concerned, so they introduce themselves and he continues to say that he really wants to be able to help them. And that he has some companies and that he would like to be able to give you a job opportunity for him and that he could leave the streets and live in the house he said and provide her studies, so you accept the job opportunity. The emotional father says he would even accept it, but how would he pay for all this? So the girl gets up and says that it is her dream to be a doctor, but that her father is right and how they will pay. The businessman says he understands the concern and says that the only thing he requires is that in the future when he has graduated and is stabilized in life and if she finds a child who needs help the only payment he wants is that she help this child. The girl then says excitedly that she is right and that she is promised that she will try very hard to achieve everything he is providing her. Then he takes them to see the house where they are going to live and to take a shower and leave everything very well organized and for them to be calm, so he helps them to get their things and go. One day a boy is washing cars on the street, and out of nowhere he bumps into a doctor and falls and she immediately asks if he's okay and apologizes and helps him up. He then apologizes because he wasn't paying attention, so she asks if he's okay and what he's doing there. So he says that he's currently washing cars in the square because his dream is to study and graduate from college and so he's trying to save even a little money so he can buy some notebooks. At that moment, a movie played on the doctor's mind, where she relived all her past with her father, until the arrival of that good-hearted young man who transformed her life. So she tells the young man that he doesn't need to wash cars anymore, and then she tells him a little bit of her story and that then she will help him. He gets emotional and asks how he is going to pay her for all this, so she says that he will pay with his studies, that he will study and graduate and be someone in life and that in the future if he finds someone like him, he will only contribute the same way he is receiving. Then he very happy thanks and hugs her as a form of gratitude.